I think what you saw in there is that this is very much part of the financial services charter, and that the rules of that are being worked through now between the the financial sector and the Department of Trade and Industry. So we're very much working on that, and the focus is making sure that we can actually get black enterprises going, and that the funds are going to go towards small and medium-sized enterprises. I think the financial services sector has been very much focused on that, and we would all like to do more. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah. What are your overall impressions of the summit today and your expectation of the investment summit?
Well, I'm very pleased. I think the summit has been a significant success. I think it's been a huge success. I think the President's spoken about that. I think he has put a huge amount of time into it himself. It's been remarkable to see how much of his own time he has put into it, and I think that attests to the fact that he made a commitment to this as part of the State of the Nation address. I think as a country we've seen him deliver on that commitment, and I think all of us, whether we're in business or in labour or in community or government, have a huge opportunity now to really come together as South Africans and take on board the fact that jobs and inclusive growth are the biggest challenges of our time, and jobs is the biggest thing we're facing. I think the summit is the beginning of and the commitments made at the summit I see as the beginning of us delivering on that. We've made lots of commitments here. A lot of the projects that we have on the table give us the opportunity to deliver on a number of important job opportunities. Many of these will give us an uplift in the short to medium term, but it's not just the number of jobs that are contained in these projects. It's also the opportunity for the multiplier effect that comes out of this, and also importantly that we should not lose sight of is the confidence that comes when an economy starts to grow, when jobs start to become a reality. Everybody who has a job can feel more confident, generates an income, and anyone who's ever had somebody in their family who's lost a job knows what that feels like. It's that loss of sense of yourself and that loss of sense of dignity of losing a job and not getting a job for a long, long time. So I think if we can make even a small dent in that, I think we're going to start feeling the benefits of that. And we've got a long way to go. Our economy continues to lose jobs, and we've also made a commitment to say that job losses, although may not be avoidable, should be seen to be the last option available to all of us. So I think that's the opportunity here for all of us.
Are you disappointed at the fact that there was no moratorium on stopping job losses?
I don't think, no, because I also think that, moratoriums are not necessarily what you need. I think the opportunity here is to make sure that the first thing you get to the point where job loss, losing a job is not the first option you go to. And I can tell you, as somebody who runs a large business, that that closing off a job, saying to somebody you're fired, I don't have a job for you, is not an easy thing to do. Every time you have to say to somebody, we're closing off this division or we're retrenching somebody, is hard. If you have ever had to retrench anybody, you know just how hard that is. I don't think I've ever been in a position where retrenching somebody has not come with a huge amount of reflection. What you want to make sure is that when you get to that point, this is absolutely the last option, and therefore you've considered everything else. And I think that was the best we could do, yeah. But I also think that the focus has to be on the creation of new jobs. Our economy is also going through a huge amount of change. And sometimes the jobs just aren't there anymore. If you want to be competitive, the jobs that are being closed off are jobs that just are not going to exist into the future. and you want to make sure that if you are going to, close off jobs, retrench people, that you are actually going to be retraining them, that you are going to create other opportunities, and you've thought about what those are.
Sorry, Ramos. There's a fantastic agreement by everybody to do things that they not want to do. I mean, private sector saying, well, we'll focus less on bonuses, focus more in the long term. The unions are saying we'll try and foster more harmonious labour relations by not being so militant. Government saying that they're going to run super clean administrations. Traditionally speaking, this is stuff that neither of those partners want to do. So how do you think that the politics of that is going to work?
I think what we've seen here over many months of conversation, of discussion, of engagement, of negotiation, has been to arrive at this point, and also just the realization that our country needs a different engagement, a different future, that our economy is in trouble, that it's not just about the fact that we have had 2 quarters of negative growth and therefore we are in a recession, that we haven't grown. We're now in a recession, but this is an economy that has not grown for quite some time. If you're growing at 1 or 2%, that's not enough growth to create proper jobs and to create sustainable jobs. And the growth we've had is not inclusive growth. And that's the economy is facing a jobs crisis. And we cannot, the opportunities of we're being left behind. And so I think it's just that realization by everybody, and that no one's going to do that for us. And so it's not, and this is not just about, the president cannot do this on his own. And the government can't do this on its own, and that we all have to actually put our shoulders to the wheel. And I think the president made this point earlier on when he closed his conference, and he said there's going to be an investment conference. But I remember for many, many years teaching economics and saying to people, domestic investment is the way you start. Because if your domestic investors don't have enough confidence in your own country, then who else is going to have confidence in the country? We expect foreign investors to come in here and invest. Well, that's interesting. But if you don't invest in your own economy, who else is going to invest? So that's really what this is about. And if we don't get this right ourselves, I don't know who else is going to get it right. And so I suppose this is about us. It starts with us. I mean, who's going to convince a rating agency that this is a fantastic place to be in if we can't get out there? And I think that is with, when the president talks about Tumamina, that's the way I have understood it. And I hope all of us who've participated in this conference, think about that actually. And so it's okay. I mean, I can get up and say, I want to take a bonus. I have no problem with doing that. And I'll be the first to put up my hand about that. But it's about more than that. It's about that and more. It's about what we do every single day, actually, as South Africans. And so it is about stopping the corruption. But it is also about, whether we can get out there and do lots of different things differently, all of us. It's not about, investment strike. Because I think people have continued to invest, but it's about confidence to invest. Because, if you're in a country where, corruption has been rampant and every day you get beaten up about stuff, you don't know where to invest, and there's a loss of confidence in everything you do, then even if you want to invest, it's not easy to invest. So I don't think, I'd love to, and I and other corporates, we would love to invest more. Everywhere I talk would like to invest more, but if it's not clear where legislation is going, if it takes a long time, if it's full of bureaucracy, I've been a public servant too. But if it's full of bureaucracy and if you can't make decisions, it takes a long time to make decisions. And if you make one decision today and tomorrow you change it, and if there's ongoing corruption everywhere, then it's not so easy for people to have the confidence to invest. So this is not about solving one small thing. It's about sitting around the table and having the tough conversations and then saying, this is how we're going to do it, and let's do it.